Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about, so let's delve straight into the topics. So I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Paul Pogba because there is huge developments on Paul Pogba. Also going to be giving you the latest news on Adrian Rabiot from Juventus, and then there is lots of other things to talk about. But we'll start with the news on Paul Pogba. So reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solsjaker has come out recently and said, that he wants Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United. Now, the couple of main explanations for this is because, he wants Paul Pogba to build a partnership, with Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. And reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has told Paul Pogba that he wants to make him a key part of the club's future in that. And he's also come out and insisted, that he wants to build around Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba and that. So there's still a slight possibility chance that Paul Pogba could remain at the football club and he could be here next season. Now, obviously, don't forget, Paul Pogba still does want to leave Manchester United, so he has got the same perception as what he had last summer, because don't forget, he revealed last summer that he wanted to leave the football club. He was seeking for a new challenge, and he even publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club and that. Now, obviously, this was all before the football season that got suspended. Solskjaer was coming out saying that, Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United next season. And, you had Paul Pogba coming out saying that he was interested in extending his contract at the football club because he believes he can form a good partnership with Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. So what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said recently, is reiterating what he'd said before all the football season that got suspended. So basically, Solskjaer thinks, Paul Pogba is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. But I've got to give my own perception on, Paul Pogba. I think, he'd do very, very well alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. Now, you've obviously, had recent reports as well coming out, and I think it was stemming from the Mirror, if I'm right, and a few other reports, and they've said that Real Madrid are preparing to put a cut price £70 million offer in for Paul Pogba, because there has been reports emerging out saying that, we could only get 70 million for Pogba this summer. There was some reports actually, saying, we could only recruit £60 million for Paul Pogba and that. But actually, last summer, Paul Pogba's preference was to make a move to Real Madrid. And I already give you the main explanation, why his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise. Was obviously, reflect on the substantial amount we put on him, because we said last summer we wanted £180 million for Paul Pogba. So we was just demanding over double than what we paid for him from Juventus back in 2016, because we did pay £89 million in from Juventus. So at the moment, he is our most expensive signing. But like I've said to you before, Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, he's got a good relation with Real Madrid. Paul Pogba himself has got a good relationship, with Zinedine Zidane. And, Real Madrid, did recruit a good 5 or 6 players in last summer and spent, was it in the 200 or 300 odd million pound range on them. Madrid got Eden Hazard. They also, got Luka Jovic, Rodrigo, Ferland Mendy, Eden Militao and that, but they're still looking to do more business when the transfer market, does open. Real Madrid are also looking to offload players as well. They're looking to get rid of James Rodriguez, Gareth Bale, Jovic, I think. Karim Benzema's coming to an end of his footballing career. They're looking to get rid of Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. I think Madrid have said they want around £44 million to get rid of him on a permanent transfer and that. But like I've said to you before, Pogba's agent Mini Raiola has had negotiations with Real Madrid. He's also held some negotiations with Juventus and that. Di Marzio, as you all know, recently confirmed that, Man United and Juventus have been in conversations over the swap deal involving Paul Pogba, because there has been a lot of reports saying that Paul Pogba could reunite in Turin with Juventus, because like I said, he did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. And it says reportedly, Juventus are willing to offer 2 of their players for Paul Pogba. So reportedly we have got a choice what player, we would want to take from Juventus so, they can get Paul Pogba. Now, there's been, obviously, talks of Aaron Ramsey coming to Man United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going to Juventus. And I think maybe, there's quite a few Manchester United fans that would take Aaron Ramsey at the football club. Obviously, he's got a very, very good pedigree in the Premier League because Aaron Ramsey did enjoy 11 years with Arsenal. He was a very, very good player for them. Obviously, Arsenal did let him go last summer on a free transfer to Juventus. I think Ramsey is Juventus' second highest paid player, just behind Ronaldo. And he's got a contract with Juventus until 2023. Aaron Ramsey, he's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder, but you can also play him on the left wing and you can play him on the right wing, so his versatility is very, very good. Don't forget, quite a few weeks ago, there was talks of Matthijs de Ligt coming to Man United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going to Juventus. There's been talks of Douglas Costa and Janik and that, so swap deals have been on the agenda, but like I've mentioned before, swap deals are very, very rare in the modern game. But they do happen, but like I said, they are very, very rare. It's also very, 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 very rare as well that, players go back to their former clubs, but, we have also seen that happen. So, like I've said to you, I'll stick to what I've said on my other videos. If Pogba leaves Man United, I think he'll either go to Real Madrid. If he doesn't go to Real Madrid, I think he will make a return back to Juventus. Now, obviously, recently, PSG have expressed their interest in Paul Pogba. Don't forget the other week, it said, PSG were willing to offer us, or did offer us, two of their players, for Paul Pogba, and that was Angel Di Maria and Julian Draxler. Of course, don't forget Angel Di Maria is a former Manchester United player. Don't forget we did have Angel Di Maria under Louis van Gaal era, but of course we had to let Angel Di Maria go, basically. We only had him for one season under Louis van Gaal. We paid just under 60 million for him from Real Madrid. And then a year later, we let him go to PSG for around 40 odd million pounds. Now he's into his fifth season with PSG. But very, very sceptical that Pogba, will go to PSG. Don't forget, recently it says that Inter Milan have expressed their interest in Paul Pogba. Again, very, very sceptical that I will go to Inter Milan. Like I said, Inter Milan have got quite a few players on their agenda. Don't forget, Inter Milan have got Mario Icardi out on loan. He's out on loan at PSG, is Mario Icardi. But I think I was reading reports a few weeks ago, and it says that Inter Milan are looking to get rid of him on a permanent transfer. Inter Milan, would want around in the 60 odd million pound range if they were to get rid of Icardi permanently. Also, too, Lautaro Martinez has been subjected to transfer speculation. I think he's been linked with a move to Barcelona and that. But maybe, now he could be staying at Inter Milan. And don't forget, Inter Milan have already recruited 3 of our players. They got Ashley Young offers this year after he enjoyed 8.5 years at Man United. They got Lukaku offers. And obviously, of course, they did get Alexis Sanchez off us. So they've already recruited 3 of our players of Inter Milan. But I can't see Paul Pogba going to Inter Milan. Don't forget, Barcelona have been in for Pogba as well in the past. But yeah, since Paul Pogba joined Man United from Juventus back in 2016, he has had a long-running transfer saga. Now, I'll reiterate what I mentioned on my video that I did recently. It says, if Paul Pogba does not leave Manchester United in the summer, we will trigger that extension on his contract. Because as it stands now, Paul Pogba's got exactly a year remaining on his Man United contract, because don't forget, we decided not to trigger that 1 year extension on his contract. So maybe, Paul Pogba could be at Manchester United next season. I'm not sure if he'll be here for the foreseeable future. If we can, get him a long-term contract, then he can be here for the foreseeable future. Of course, Paul Pogba's one of the highest paid players now at the football club, because he's on around, £300,000 a week with Manchester United. Pogba's only played 8 times this season for the football club. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. Don't forget, he did have the surgery back on his ankle in January. The last game he played was Boxing Day, I think, against Newcastle. And the last time he started from the start was back in September. But Solsjaker has also come out and confirmed when the football season does eventually resume, Paul Pogba will be back playing, which is obviously very, very good news. I also believe that Marcus Rashford will be back, because obviously Rashford's been out with a back injury since January. But, don't forget, Paul Pogba gave an interview to the United podcast. It was quite a few weeks ago now, like he updated you. And he was talking about, the issues that he's had with injuries this season and how much it's infuriated him. He was also talking about, what convinced him to leave Manchester United back in 2012. Because don't forget, we had Pogba under the Alex Ferguson era. And, we did let him go on a free transfer to Juventus, but we had to let him go because his appearances were limited at the football club. And don't forget, he responded to the criticism from Graham Souness because, the likes of Graham Souness has been criticising him persistently. Even Roy Keane has been criticising him a lot. But them two have been Paul Pogba's biggest critics. And Rio Ferdinand, don't forget, he's been talking a lot about Paul Pogba recently. He's actually not advised Pogba to leave the football club in the summer as Rio Ferdinand. But he did hit back at Graham Souness and Roy Keane, did Ferdinand. And Ferdinand believes from his own perception that it's down to Paul Pogba himself to decide his future. But he definitely still wants to leave Manchester United. Pogba has won 2 trophies with the football club. He won the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. Of course, as well, he won the World Cup with France. I think he's very, very good for France, to be fair. But at Man United, the vast majority of his performances have been inconsistent. I think the best we saw of Pogba was in that 3-month period when Solsjaker was the interim manager. But I said if we sell him, it's very imperative that we get more for him, than what we paid for him. Because I said he's worth at least £100 million. But like I've said to you, players' values have dropped by at least 15% due to this coronavirus pandemic. So Solskjaer's come out and said he wants Paul Pogba to stay, and he's told Paul Pogba, he wants to make him, he wants to make him, a key part of the club's future. So he's basically, doing this to try and persuade Paul Pogba to stay at the football club. So now that's the latest news on him. Now let's delve into news on Adrian Rabiot from Juventus. So the news is on Adrian Rabiot, this is stemming from Tutto Mercato Web, which is of course an Italian, I think it's an Italian source or publication or whatever. But they've said reportedly, we have expressed an interest in Adrian Rabiot from Juventus. Now, it's in a couple of media outlets. It reportedly says, that we have scouted the player quite a few times. I think we've watched him in some of Juventus's Champions League games this season. Now, don't forget, we've inquired about his availability in the past. Now, Adrian Rabiot is in his first season with Juventus. Of course, Juventus did get him last summer. They got him last summer on a free transfer from PSG. And Adrian Rabiot has got a contract with Juventus until 2023 because he did sign a 4-year deal. Now, Adrian Rabiot has spent, the vast majority of his career with Paris Saint-Germain. He was at Paris Saint-Germain for several years. And I think he made over 150 appearances in Ligue 1 for PSG. Of course, I think he won a total of 18 major honours for PSG. Made his senior debut for PSG in 2012. But he won 18 major honours, 5 League 1 titles. I think he won the domestic treble in 2015-16. And he also won the domestic treble in 2017-2018. Don't forget, Adrian Rabiot's also a former Manchester City player. He played for Manchester City in their youth academy. And Adrian Rabiot is only at the age of 25 and he is predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. So, would you take Adrian Rabiot at Manchester United? I think he's very, very effective in the air. His ball control is very, very good. He can hold up the play. His runs on and off the ball are also good. I think he's very, very good with his left foot, is Adrian Rabiot. So recent reports have said, we have expressed an interest in Adrian Rabiot on that. He was also a player mentioned, that could come at Man United as part of a swap deal of Paul Pogba going to Juventus. So that is the latest news on Adrian Rabiot. But you saw my videos that I did yesterday and we have got quite a few players on our agenda that could replace Paul Pogba at the football club if he does decide to leave. Like I said, reports were coming out from the Spanish publication Via Sport, the Sports Witness yesterday, and they've said, we've identified Donny van der Beek as our number 1 candidate to replace Paul Pogba. You've had Saul Niguez that's also been on our agenda to replace him. There's been a hell of a lot of midfielders on our agenda in that. So that's the latest news on that. But, don't forget, it says, we will have to sell Paul Pogba, to fund the moves for Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish, because Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish are on, priority targets in that. So let's just put that into the equation. So, yeah, so that is the latest news on that anyway. So let's delve into the next topic. So I think, Manchester United do need to invest heavily in the summer transfer market, if we are to compete, for trophies, if we had to compete for trophies in that, and if we are, to become title contenders next season, because I think, we need to make around 4 signings in the summer, if we are to become title contenders, and of course they have got to be the right calibre players. Now, of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has already revealed his plans, of when the summer transfer market does open. Obviously, he does want to make around 4 signings, and he's identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. Solskjaer's confirmed he wants to recommend a centre forward in, he wants to recommend a midfielder in, and he also wants to recommend a right winger in. There's also some reports still emerging out saying that he wants to recommend a centre half in, but I'm very, very sceptical, that we will sign a centre half in the summer transfer market and that. But I don't think we're going to make 4 signings in the summer. We could only make 1 signing or 2 signings in the summer transfer market. Like I said to you before, a lot of clubs' summer transfer budgets will be reduced due to the coronavirus pandemic. And don't forget, Ed Woodward's been talking a lot recently. Ed Woodward came out, was it last Friday? And he, told the fans forum that we will not do business as usual in the summer transfer market. So what he meant in that aspect is that, we won't spend hundreds of millions of pounds on players. So basically, he ruled big transfers to Manchester United out. And then Ed Woodward came out recently and has gave Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a transfer promise, and he believes we will remain highly competitive in the summer transfer market and that. But Ed Woodward, backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's said on, quite a few occasions this season that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe at Manchester United, even though we have enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. I've already outlined a couple of reasons, what saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Manchester United. Because obviously you got to say the signing of Bruno Fernandes is one of the reasons, what saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Man United, because Bruno Fernandes, has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. He's got 3 goals and 4 assists. He won Premier League Player of the Month, reflects on his good performances in February. He won Premier League Player of the Month for February, yeah. And we paid around £65 million for Bruno Fernandes. £65 million we paid for him. So he's actually, one of the club's most expensive signings. But you got to say, he has made a difference in the team. So Solskjaer, did have a successful January transfer window, because he didn't only get Bruno Fernandes. He also, got Odion Ighalo in on loan until the end of the season. And I think he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career as Odion Ighalo. Like I said, we paid around 3 or 4 million to get him on loan. We're paying like a third of his wages at the moment. And Odion Ighalo's loan at the football club does expire on the 31st of May. There was reports circulating out saying that we could extend his loan due to the coronavirus pandemic. So there was talks of us extending his loan until the 30th of June. But I think we'll probably get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer, because Solskjaer's already made that admission. It will cost us around 15 million to get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer. But like I said, he's been a good cover-up to Marcus Rashford, and he is an option of a different type of centre-forward. And I think, another thing, you can say that saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job was how good, we was before the football season was suspended, because like I said, we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions, and it is our best vein of form since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager in that. So let's just put that into the equation. But, Solskjaer has enjoyed 16 months at Manchester United so far. So he has been here over a year now. And he's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the football club. And didn't recommend anyone in his first transfer window, but, in the 2 previous windows, he has recruited 5 players in and spent around £220 million. Like I said to you on numerous occasions, and I said it yesterday, Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood, and that's one good decision that I did make by getting rid of a lot of the deadwood, because we've seen a total of 9 players or something like that leave the football club since, he got recommended in. Don't get me wrong, there's still deadwood at the football club now that needs to be moved on, and, Solskjaer is planning to get rid of around 5 or 6 players in the summer transfer market. And I've already gone through with you, I think the players that are going to leave, I think, we're definitely going to get rid of Phil Jones, because Phil Jones can't even get into the team now. Phil Jones has been a long-serving player at Manchester United. He's now into his 9th season at the club, and he's just been very, very inconsistent as Phil Jones. I think he's like our 6th choice centre-half. I think we can get around 10 or 12 million for him if we do sell him in the summer. But he can't get in the team now because, like I said, we've got a lot of centre-halves in the team anyway. But yeah, I think we'll probably get rid of Chris Smalling on a permanent transfer. I gave you the news, didn't I, regarding Chris Smalling yesterday night. Paulo Fonesca, who's currently the Roma boss, he's explained of how amazing Chris Smalling's been with Roma. He's talking about him being very, very humble and very professional and stuff like that. And I think he's come out as Paul Fonesca and said, he'll do everything he can, to keep him at Roma for next year. But I don't know if Roma, will get him on a permanent transfer. Because obviously, there's Premier League clubs that are in for Smalling as well. He won't come back to Manchester United. We want to offload him permanently. Obviously, we'll look for the highest bidder. And I think, we have said we want around £25 million for Smalling. Smalling did endure 9 years at Manchester United. So he actually, was a very, very long-serving player. Had some good games, but also had a lot of bad games. Made a lot of calamitous mistakes as well, did Chris Smalling. I think he's still got a contract with the football club until 2022. But yeah, we will get rid of Smalling permanently. I think, we'll definitely get rid of Rojo permanently. He's on loan at Estudiantes at the moment. He's Rojo. I think he's one of the worst players, that Man United have ever had. He's not the worst, but I think he's in that list of one of the worst players. Rojo was quite injury prone at the club. Did enjoy a good, was it 5 or 6 years, something like that, with a football club, because we did get Rojo from Sporting Lisbon. Possibility chance that Delors could also be moved on as well. I haven't read up on the news regarding Delors lately, but the other week I was reading reports and it was stemming from the Portuguese press, and they'd said that PSG had expressed their interest in it. It said we'd revealed our asking price for Delors, and it said, we want in the £30 million range for him. So we said we want from 30 to 35 million. Delors only made one start in the Premier League this season. He's endured quite a few injuries as Diego Delors. He played a lot towards the back end of last season as a right winger, did Delors. Put some good performances out. But, do you think he's a foreseeable future for Man United? He is a backup to Wan-Bissaka, isn't he? Because Wan-Bissaka is our first choice right back. We did get Delors back in, 2018, the summer of 2018. I think we got him in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window at the football club. We paid £19 million for him from Porto, and I think Delors under contract of us until 2023. So yeah, Lingard and Pereira, they're also 2 players that we are going to get rid of. I give you the news, didn't I, on Jesse Lingard yesterday, and it says reportedly up to 4 Premier League clubs have expressed their interest in Lingard. I think we do value Jesse Lingard at around £30 million. Lingard's been so inconsistent, like I said, because Lingard hasn't registered 1 goal or 1 assist in the Premier League for over the years. That just indicates how inconsistent he is. And like I've said before, reflecting on Lingard's status at the football club and the number of years he's been here, he should be putting much more better performances out. So I've been very, very disappointed with Jesse Lingard. And I think he's got now exactly a year left on his contract, but there's been reports saying that we could trigger that 1-year extension on his contract. Pereira, he has been playing regularly this season, but that's only because McTominay's been out injured. But since McTominay came back, Pereira has found game time very, very difficult. Pereira only became a regular last season anyway. Sanchez, I want us to offload him permanently, but I'm very, very sceptical now it's going to happen. Sanchez is facing a dilemma because Inter Milan don't want him permanently. We don't really want him back at the football club. So there you go. So yeah, we'll offload a good 5 or 6 players in the summer transfer market. Dean Henderson's on loan at Sheffield United, and he's been a revelation for Sheffield United. Dean Henderson, I think we will be recalling him on the 1st of July, but we've already confirmed that we will be loaning him back out again to obviously gain him a bit more experience, but we are reluctant to let him go on a permanent transfer because we do see Dean Henderson as a long-term replacement for David De Gea. Solskjaer's already confirmed that David De Gea, will remain number one goalkeeper at Manchester United. And don't forget, David De Gea recently said he intends to stay at the football club for another 10 years, but I don't really see that happening, if I am going to be quite honest with you on that. But like I've said, there is, positive to take from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure so far. Like I said, I think he's promoted the youth very, very well. And we've got a good reputation now of promoting the youth, and that's a very, very good thing. The likes of Greenwood's done well this season. Williams has also done well. Chong, don't really have a perception on Chong, hasn't played much, but he should get more opportunities next season. Garner should get more opportunities next season. Angel Gomez, there's been a lot of uncertainty over Angel Gomez's future, to be honest with you. I think we're trying to get, Angel Gomez a new 2-year contract, is it, at the football club. Tuan Zebe, he did well earlier on in the season. So I think we've had the youngest squad in the Premier League this season. I also think, like I've said on loads of my other videos, Solskjaer's approach to the big games this season have also been very, very good. Very, very good, his approach to the big games. Because we've registered like 17 points against the big six sides this season. Like I said, we've beaten Man City 3 times this season. Solskjaer's made history in that aspect because he's become the first manager to beat Guardiola 3 times in one season. Also, too, he's beaten Chelsea 4 times as manager, and he's overcome Frank Lampard 3 times. We drew with Liverpool earlier on in the season. He's beaten Jose Mourinho as a manager in that. So that obviously, that is very, very good. But we haven't been so good against lower opposition. So I think Solskjaer's approach to the games against lower opposition, he needs to address that. He needs to address that problem because it hasn't been so good. Solskjaer still needs to work out his best formation because I don't think, he really knows his best formation. Solskjaer's changed formation a lot throughout the course of this season, but on a regular basis this season, he has been going with that 4-2-3-1 formation. From my own perception, that 4-2-3-1 formation doesn't really seem to suit our standards. I think we look much more expansive with 3 at the back. So I think when the football season does eventually resume, we need to go with 3 at the back. Some people are saying, we should go with a 4-3-3 because I think when Solskjaer was the interim manager, we went a lot with that 4-3-3 formation. And like I said, we can get some silverware on the board if the season does resume, because we are into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup for the sixth season on the trot. We are into the last 8 of the Europa League, so that is a chance of us getting some silverware on the board, because if we can get some silverware on the board, that will restore winning mentality at the football club, and then it will give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer more confidence, definitely. But one thing I can assure, Solskjaer will be Man United manager next season, definitely, because I think he deserves at least another season at the football club. And if it doesn't work out next season, that's when, I would get rid of him in that, because Solskjaer needs more time. He's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, because put into the equation, there's only 5 players out of his that he's recommended in so far. And like I've said to we have recruited over 30-odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. This is including who we've brought in under Solskjaer, but obviously, Moyes brought Fellaini in, no longer at Man United now. He left to join China back in 2019, but we paid just over £27 million for Fellaini. Moyes also brought Juan Mata in. Juan Mata, of course, is still here now, and he's been a long-serving player for Manchester United as Juan Mata. Of course, Louis van Gaal brought a hell of a lot of players in. He brought like Schneiderlin, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Falcao, Di Maria, Daley Blind. He obviously, brought Rojo, Darmian, Depay and all that. Obviously, the vast majority of the players Van Gaal brought in have now left the football club anyway. Obviously, Van Gaal, got rid of a lot of the players that we did have under the Alex Ferguson era. I think there's only a couple of players we've got from the Ferguson era now, and that's De Gea, Smalling and Rojo and that. But there you go. And Louis van Gaal enjoyed 2 years at Man United and, of course, did win the FA Cup. And obviously, Jose Mourinho, he recommended 11 players into the club. So the vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's. Obviously, Mourinho brought Fred in, Matic, Bay, Lindelof, Sanchez, Mkhitaryan, Ibrahimovic, Delors, Lee Grant, Pogba, Lukaku, Jose Mourinho, brought a hell of a lot of players into the football club and that. And Mourinho endured 2.5 years at Manchester United. And I've already given you the main explanations why it didn't work out under the Jose Mourinho era. But yeah, like I said, so a hell of a lot of players have been recruited in. And we've spent close to the £1 billion range on recruiting, players in the last 6 or 7 years or so. But revert back to what I said in my other videos, I'm still very, very sceptical that Solskjaer is the foreseeable future for Man United. He's got around, 2 years remaining on his contract with the football club. Yes, he has in that, because when he got the job permanently, he did sign a 3-year contract. Obviously, now he's been here over the year, so he's got now 2 years remaining on his contract and that. And don't get me wrong, Solskjaer was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance and that. And he's got that proven pedigree as a player, but obviously hasn't got it as a manager. Like I've said, he is inexperienced as a manager. But obviously, the longer he remains in the Man United job, he's going to gain more experience. But yeah, like I was just going to say, before he came to Man United, he was at Mould. And before he was at Mould, he was at Cardiff. Obviously, Solskjaer wasn't so good at Cardiff, let's be honest. But definitely deserves more time at the football club. Now, like I've said to you, I want the football season to resume. Don't forget, the Premier League recently had a meeting to establish plans for the remainder of the season. Reportedly, they've given out a statement, and they've confirmed more talks will go on next Friday. They'll have another meeting to establish plans for the remainder of the season. I think it is going to resume is the season. There's been talks about it starting in June, and the Premier League said they wanted it completed by the 31st of July, so they can play Champions League and Europa League games in August and stuff like that. Don't forget, these 92 games to play in all competitions. The football season has been suspended since the 9th of March. But, Liga 1's been cancelled, as you all know. PSG got the title. I think Eredivisie has also been cancelled. And a few others have been cancelled as well. But I don't know what's going to be happening. Because definitely the season will be played behind closed doors. If it resumes, it will be played behind closed doors. And there's been reports saying that games could be aired for free with them being played behind closed doors. I've heard as well, I've been hearing, that, games could be played behind closed doors until 2021. And this is what I were hearing. And I've been hearing, that the season will resume and 8 stadiums have been pitched, where games are going to be played at. Can't remember all of them. I think Old Trafford, Emirates, and that was also mentioned. But there you go. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.